Hi, little Isaac. Grandma Suzanne here. Well, I went to the library yesterday and got more books, of course, but I also got this really cool list of things that we can do. And wait do you see this? I got your very own, I signed you up for the summer reading and got your very own badge book. Badge book. You have your very own badge book. Yes, you have your very own badge book. And you're going to get a badge. Well, we're going to fill this out with your name and everything, and you're going to get a badge for each of these four groups of things that we're going to do. And then at the end of this, you get your very own messenger bag and tickets to a ball game and a free book at the book sale, all sorts of things. Well, guess what? We have already done some of the things in each of the categories that you get for the badges. And you're 6 months old. I'm just saying. Um, so these are online, and I told your mom about it, and I'm going to send her the address. But we're going to do one of them right now. We have already done it, but we're going to do another one. Read a book about flowers or seeds. Do you see any flowers or seeds around your home? So when you're there in your house playing in your little bouncy thing, or in your little mamaroo, or in your mom or dad's arms, or your grandparents' arms, or playing with Nellie, look around and see if you see any plants, any flowers or seeds. We kind of did that when we walked around the yard, didn't we? Yeah. Remember that time we walked all around on the side and the back, and we sat in the front, and we had a step, and we named it your step? Oh, it's starting to dim. Anyway, okay. So I have some books right now. Let's just read one. It's called, oh, that's interesting. It's called Garden. This was the first one in the stack. I got another bundle, garden bundle, and these were different books than the ones we got the last time. There's a monarch butterfly. Okay, let's open the book and start reading. Garden by Robert Maass, Henry Holt and Company. An editor from Henry Holt was interested in my book once. A garden is a world in itself. These are pictures. Like photographs. Formed by a gardener's skill and imagination. Within a garden, the cycles and rhythms of life, plant and animal, are clear to see. I never thought about that, but it's really true. We're outside in it every day. We're working and we're thinking, I need to do this and put this here and put that there and pull this out and take care of this bug and all that. But what we're really doing is the cycle of all these things is going on around us, and everything we do is based on that cycle. Everything. My flowers that I planted that were scrawny little nothings, um, that seemed to really need something. I put them in the ground, and they didn't look good for a while, and the chickens were going near them and kicking them up. And now, this week, they're all starting to bloom, and it's amazing. I will show you. I'll take you out there. But it's the cycle. It is the cycle. That flowering is part of the cycle. And we notice the flowers and the colors, but we don't think about the fact that it's part of a cycle, and it's the cycle of that plant's time to bloom. There are gardens that shine brilliantly for just a few weeks, while others bloom from early spring to first frost. I guess you could say that mine blooms in its own way from early spring to first frost, because between the things I plant for blossoms and the things that blossom as part of their cycle, like apple trees and blackberries and black raspberries and peaches. It's very interesting that this year, every year I've had, sorry about that, every year I've had thousands of peaches on the peach tree, so many that I have to thin out thousands. And then I still haven't thinned out enough. This year I have 10, 12, not very many peaches at all. And somebody said it was because we got a late frost that probably killed the blossoms, which I didn't remember, but the cycle is really important. And if something is out of whack, it upends everything, because peaches are only the end result of the blossom and the pollination. And if that doesn't happen, the peach doesn't happen. And it's also fun for me because I have so many kinds of berries, and the berries come at different times, that the black berries are in flower when the black raspberries are well underway. And because the blackberries don't come until August and the black raspberries come in June, so they flowered much earlier. So yeah, you could say that there's a bit of blooming here from early spring to the first frost. Some gardens harmonize the color and size of their plants and flowers, while others charm by their lack of order. All gardens require care and attention. Yeah, for gardeners, it is a labor of love. Sometimes, sometimes it's a labor of sweat. Sometimes it's just labor. But it is true that undergirding all of it is a gigantic love for the whole thing. The fact that we get to be a part of it, because we tend it, we don't make it happen. I can't make a plant bloom. I can just put it in the right soil and the right sun and all of that, but I don't make it bloom. I just sit back and watch. Well, I move around doing chores and watch. Once you've chosen a place to plant your garden, you will then decide what to put in it. Most plants begin as seeds, and many gardeners like to grow seedlings indoors to get an early start of the season. Yes, indeed. Now this, I bet you know what kind of plants these are. Yes, you're absolutely right. Tomatoes. It's funny that you have the British pronunciation. I guess you've been hanging around me a while. And these are seeds, and I bet you know the kind of seeds these are. Can you spot rice? Can you spot beet or chard seeds? Can you spot nut seeds, which look like almonds, but I have to get close? And can you spot marigold seeds? Well done. You're very good at this. Oh, that's not rice. Pardon me. Let me show you more closely. Lettuce. It's lettuce seeds. I thought it was rice, but if you look closely, you see it's thin and flat. Marigold, beet or chard, same family, can't tell by the seed, and some kind of nut. After the soil has been tilled, it will be ready for planting. This is good, dark soil, ready for the seeds, asking for the seeds, just so excited, doing a dance for the seeds. Seeds are planted directly into the soil. You'll need to space them according to how big or bushy the plants will grow. Okie doke. Those are spaced well apart. Let's see what kind they are. Beans, but it doesn't say if it's bush or pull. If those are bush beans, those are way too far apart. You can crowd bush beans, and they actually help each other because they support um, the flimsy vines a little bit, support each other. But pole beans, you do want to space those apart. Vegetables like lettuce are planted early in the season as they grow best in cooler weather. Annual flowers are planted later when the air and soil temperatures are warmer. We had a good harvest of lettuce this year, and then it went to seed so early because it got hot early. There's a little guy pushing a wheelbarrow with flowers. Annuals, which means we replant them every year. They bloom in their first year. Tomatoes and strawberries are the fruits that grow from their pollinated flowers. Once plants begin to flower, insects play an important role in pollination. Bees and butterflies spread pollen from one plant to another. The pollen fertilizes flowers. There's a bee. Looks like a bumblebee, not a honeybee. Strawberries. And that's a monarch butterfly. Earthworms also play a valuable role in the garden. They burrow through the ground, and the tiny pathways they make bring water and air to plants. People don't realize how important those pathways are. That's one of the reasons we're told not to step on soil very much, because all of the pathways and soil structure they talk about is doing a lot of good underground with water and air for the plants. Worms eat organic matter like old leaves. Their waste is good for the soil because it is rich in nutrients. Worm waste, meaning, their, the word I can't say. Well, I sort of say it, but I try not to. It's stupendous for the soil. Gardeners fertilize the soil with compost, which is made from a mixture of decaying plant materials. Many gardeners have compost piles in their garden for regular use. Compost helps feed plants and keep the ground moist. And it helps build that soil structure that we talked about that keeps it from being compacted. A garden will always need regular watering and weeding. Watering keeps plants alive and healthy. Weeding keeps unwanted plants from taking away water, nutrients, and sunlight from your plants. And one way that we can water the plants without watering them? Rain. She's weeding. I love to weed. Get to sit down, pull out the parts that often come out easily, and then you've got nice tidy rows and the plants have more of the space they need. Climbing plants grip whatever is in their path as they grow toward the sun. Gardeners put up trellises, poles, and ropes to help them along. I have wind chimes out there. You know how much I love wind chimes. Well, it wasn't blowing, it wasn't making a sound. And it was because the tendrils of the grapes had wrapped around it, and so it couldn't move. I took care of that. But then it grew back, so I had to move it. As the summer heat sets in, the garden will fill out and come alive. The summer seat has set in and it is coming alive and filling out. You wouldn't believe. A carpet of flowers can be thinned out to increase future growth. Now you can bring a little of your garden indoors to brighten your home. Well, that's really interesting, because I was looking at a carpet of flowers and thinking maybe I should thin it out because I can't even walk through there. Look, doesn't this look a bit like Brooklyn? I love how people garden in cities too, and how they bring flowers inside. I did that too with my zinnias. I'm going to do more today. And there was Queen Anne's lace right where I grew carrots, because guess what carrots are? What Queen Anne's lace is? Wild carrot. Yeah, so I don't know for sure if it was a carrot that went to seed or if it was Queen Anne's lace. Soon there will be lots to harvest. Yes, indeed. We've already had some good harvest in our yard, haven't we? Oh, she's harvesting squash. And she's good at it, you can tell. She's got a few in her arms, but she's got a keen eye. Keen eye. Looking for those that are ready to be harvested. You need a keen eye because they're often under big leaves. As the summer fades and autumn approaches, gardeners clear out and cut back wilting plants and flowers of the past season. Pruning and clearing strengthens the plants for next spring's growth. And we leave some of them because the birds like some of those seeds. Now is the time to plant new bulbs for next year. Not now, but now in the book when they're talking about fall. That's a pretty garden. It's sort of got a fence like we've got. When all the blooms have faded and the last vegetables have been picked, the garden will seem empty. It needs rest to regain its energy for a new growing season. Despite the winter cold and snow, the warm weather will bring it back to life, and so can you. So can we what? Bring it back to life? Maybe they mean with our efforts. Well, then they have a glossary of some of the words, but I think I sort of explained most of them as we went along. And then a last picture. To Lucas and Lily, who make it all worthwhile. You have a garden here, and when you're a little bit older, you can have your very own section to plant whatever you want. Whatever you want. Even if it's artichokes and avocados. Whatever you want. Whatever you like. Even if it's bananas, which wouldn't really grow that well here, and it's not your favorite or my favorite, so maybe not. I love you, little guy. I hope you have a splendid day, and I'm going to check off another thing from your list. Okay, bye-bye.